sound like Marcus Butler. Hello, today I'm going to do a very different kind of video. I'm going to do a very chatty, there's no plan to it, it won't really be edited much. I'm going to talk about like social media nowadays because I watched a video by Misha Grimes called Is YouTube Dying? And I just found it really interesting seeing her perspective of social media from like a creator influencer point of view. And obviously I kind of have like my opinions on that as well, being someone who's grown up watching YouTube and in the world of social media, and then also becoming someone who like creates content. Like I don't get paid for any of my content. I just found her video super interesting, and yeah, these are my thoughts and feelings. Let's go. I am 23 and I started watching YouTube when I was about 13, 14, I think. So I remember watching one of Zoella's like autumn hauls, I think that's what it was. And yeah, I was just fascinated. And one of my friends at school at the time was really into YouTube, and she was like telling me all about like Casper Lee and Jack's Gap and everything like that. And I was just so like interested in this world of people who were like sort of just being themselves and being like famous for it. And yeah, it was a really like interesting time, I think, to grow up in, because as I said, these were the first sorts of people who were becoming like famous and well known on the internet for not really doing like a traditional talent. Like they weren't singers or dancers or anything, they were just doing videos like this and becoming really famous and started making money. And yeah, I thought it was a really interesting time to grow up in. And I think sort of around 2015, 2016, that's when we saw the real rise of like Instagram influencers who, it was very clear that they were marking their videos as, or pictures as like ads, so we knew then that people were actually getting paid for this sort of work. And then that's around the time like Love Island came about, and again, people were going into that programme not being well known, they had very normal 9-to-5 jobs, and then coming out of that experience to millions of followers, and then their lives are changing overnight because they suddenly had this big social media following. And I think, as I think a mixture of all these things has really changed how we like create and consume content now. For a bit of background on me, as I said, I've been watching, consuming like Instagram, YouTube since I was about 13. I started creating content. So I had my Instagram account when I was like 13, probably when it was like, when did Instagram come out? 2012, I think. So yeah, I must have made an account in the year it came out. I had Facebook first, so I had Facebook in 2009. I was actually underage when I got it, but yeah, so I made Instagram as soon as that came out because I saw my friends getting it and stuff. So I had like a personal account first, which I still have now. And then I saw girls started like creating content. I don't know if anyone remembers like the floral bedding, and they would put like Lush bath bombs on there, or like MAC lipsticks. And I think for me, in all my friendship groups I've ever been in, I've always been the super like girly one. Like as you can see, I like my clothes, I like my hair, makeup, that sort of thing. So I've always been the super girly girl, whereas not all my friends were like that. So suddenly I was seeing girls like posting pictures and stuff of makeup and like hair and bath products. I was like, oh my god, this is what like I haven't really got in common with everyone. So yeah, in about 2014 I created my ex Kira Louise account. It was called something different. I've had like so many different usernames for it over the years, but yeah, I think it was called like Pretty Little Thing or something to begin with. And yeah, in the first year I had that Instagram account, I got 1,000 followers, which back in 2014 was a big deal. Like I remember I came back into school the next day and people were like, oh my god, Kira, can I have a shout out? Like I can't believe you got so many followers. And yeah, it was really weird, because again, that was sort of the time when this was such a new thing. It wasn't as like, I feel like nowadays if you get 1,000 followers, it's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but people are like, oh, that's cool, but like it's not such a big deal. So yeah, I was creating content on Instagram first, and then as I said, between like 2013 to 2015, that's when like YouTube was really taking off. And I wanted to start it sooner, but to be honest, I was just really scared of what people at school would think of YouTube, because I was not as popular. And people already made comments about my Instagram account. I was like, I'll wait till I leave school, then I'll create a YouTube channel. So then I got to college, and a lot of people from my school went to the college we went to because our school didn't have a sixth form on it. I moved to college, started creating YouTube videos in the summer I left school, and then got to college. And I remember one time I was walking down the hill and 3 boys from my school came up behind me and they were like, oh my god, I know you do YouTube videos now, like are you trying to be the next Zoella? And then they explained that apparently a few people from school watched my videos in the college canteen and were like laughing at them. So yeah, after that happened, I did stop uploading videos for a bit. I just thought it's so embarrassing that people know. Like literally now I would not care. Probably because now it's just like so many people do make like videos and pictures and stuff. Like it's just more common. But I said back in like 2015, it was so new. Like people didn't really know how to perceive it. And then I sort of got to uni, and sort of by that point, I think because I'd left behind everyone I knew from school, I just thought I don't really care anymore. And people were a lot more positive about it at uni. I didn't tell them straight away, but a lot of them like found it like, oh, that's so cool, you make YouTube videos. And I sort of got more into it then, and that's when I started making obviously like university content, which started to do really well because there wasn't really any like bar to spa creators back then. So yeah, I still find it bizarre that people still watch my room tours now, and they were like 4 or 5 years old. I think in those years, the way influencers are, because even I don't think the word influencer was really a thing to like 2015, 2016. And I think a lot of people come onto it now because, as I said, there is that money aspect. Whereas when Zoella and like Marcus Butler and Alfie Daisel started, like we didn't know how much money there was in it, and like no one knew what to expect from it. They were just doing it as teenagers to have fun, which I think it kind of made it so wholesome back then. Whereas now, because so much of it is just like marketing, I think a lot of people maybe go into it for different reasons, which is fine. Like you can make a great career out of it. Like I think social media is a great stepping stone to be like an entrepreneur, because as I said, you can gain all these followers and then make a business and market it to the exact people you want to market your business to. And yeah, people do ask me, as I said, because I've been doing this for like quite a while now, and my TikTok has really taken off recently. Like I've gained about 1,000 followers on TikTok this week, which is mental. So I'm on about 3,500. But yeah, people ask me a lot like, oh, would you do like social media full time? And the answer is no. I don't think I would, because as much as I love the creative side, I think it would drive me a bit insane, like making adverts all the time, because it's gonna sound really savage, but like when I see everyone doing the same advert for one thing, like Estrid and HelloFresh, when I see those ads, I'm just like, oh, for God's sake, like it's not like new interesting content. I think I forgot to mention in this video, I'm just watching it back, I have done 2 ads on Instagram in the past, and on Instagram I've got about 2,500 followers, and both of those adverts cost me like I got paid £50 each. If you've ever wondered like how much a sort of micro influencer gets paid, so yeah, I have done ads on Instagram in the past, but as like every influencer, there's always been for like brands I would generally use. Like the first one was for like uni days or student beans, I think it was. Obviously I used to use that as a student, and the other one was for the Bright Network, which again I've used a lot in the past. So yeah, I have done ads myself, but a lot of the time if I do get anything come through into my emails, it's like it doesn't really interest me. But yeah, the point I was trying to make is like it does like irritate me when every influencer does the exact same ad. Whereas when I was like a teenager, people were uploading different video ideas, and it wasn't all just like trying to sell something or them trying to make a living, which I understand. Obviously, if you are an influencer, brand partnerships are your biggest money maker, so you do need to do those to keep yourself afloat. But when you see creators that just upload things constantly, which are all adverts, you're like, are you really in it for like authentic reasons? It just makes me think. And I think what we've seen a lot of recently since lockdown is like sort of social media people making podcasts, which I think is great, because I think this video is, I feel like, more like a podcast, but I just think podcasts are sort of leading to overconsumption. And wait for my theory on this. But I love a podcast. I listen to The Girls' Bathroom every week. I find it a really easy listen. I listen to it getting ready. I listened to it in the bath this morning. Yeah, so I really like The Girls' Bathroom. But I just think, if you just think about every sort of influencer you follow, if all of them have a YouTube channel, an Instagram account, a TikTok account, and a podcast to listen to, it's almost impossible to listen to all of that in like 1 week. Especially if you follow quite a few people like I do, because I follow people for different reasons. Like I follow Sophia and Cinzia because I like their Instagram posts, I like their vlogs, and I really love their podcast. But like sometimes I literally physically don't have the time in the day to listen to all of that and consume all of that in 1 week. Especially if you're someone who works full time like me. I work 8:30 to 4:30. I leave the house at 8. I don't come back till like 5:30, 6 o'clock. And yeah, I've only got a few hours either side of the day to like consume content. And also I think we're very fortunate that we are in a world now where there is so many like amazing creators out there. And there's so many different types of things you can consume. Because I remember back in the day that when I had about 10 subscriptions, and they would upload on like a Friday or a Saturday, and the rest of the week you had nothing else to watch. But now it's just like constant stream of like stuff to consume, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming, especially with TikTok. I think it's so easy to create something. Like, I know me, I'm really bad for it. Like, I've been off work this week and I upload like 4 or 5 TikToks a day, and I can understand for someone who works, it's like you never feel like you're caught up on everything that someone's uploaded. So like, I'm really not offended if you can ever watch all my stuff, because I know I upload a lot. I think especially with the rise of podcasts, I do think our influencers are aware of the fact that it is a lot for like people to consume, as I said, especially if you follow lots of different people for different reasons. As I said, it's not me saying I hate podcasts, because I think they do have a place. They're great if you're commuting, or if you can't like access a TV or a screen to watch something, if you're in the gym. But I think influencers need to be realistic about whether their audiences can always consume different types of media, because as I said, back about 10 years ago, most influencers concentrated on like one platform, whereas now I think they have to be spread across at least 2 or 3, which must be exhausting for them as well, to adapt their content to different things. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on social media. I really enjoy TikTok, and there's such a variety of content on there, which is great. But again, you do constantly have that feeling of like, oh, is there, like, I can't keep up with all of this. And I think that's kind of leads to people's screen time being super high, and maybe not always enjoying the outside world. But yeah, those are just my thoughts and feelings on social media currently. So I think there's just so much out there, but it's the constant battle of like, how do you keep up with it all? But yeah, I think you just got to find your boundaries. Like, for example, when I walk the dog, I don't take my phone with me unless I'm vlogging. Because as I said, I need that time away from my phone. Like, before I go to sleep, I always read. I don't go on my phone before I go to sleep, because otherwise my brain will just be like out here like trying to consume it all and like process it all. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on how you think social media has changed. Like, are you someone that listens to podcasts? Because people have asked me in the past to make a podcast, and like, I just don't have the time, as because I do work full time alongside doing this as a hobby. Maybe it's something I'll do in the future, but like right now I just don't have the time to create that content, as well as like Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. But yeah, I don't think I could do social media full time, because I like working with other people as well, and I think just the bulk of social media money comes from doing adverts, and like, I'm just not a buying and selling kind of person. So yeah, I hope you like this quick little video. So I was just really inspired by Misha's video. I'll link it down below. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you did like it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.